Hi, my name is Deepika Rao. I'm with the TAS batch of 2005. Of course, I've joined the Tata Group much earlier, back in 2000 when I joined Tata Motors from campus. And after working 5 years in Tata Motors, I applied to the TAS program and moved in there in 2005. So at the age of 27, after having 5 years in automobile companies and never actually seen a five-star hotel really, I immediately moved into the services sector, which is a completely different ball game. And even in terms of function, I moved from a support function of HR into a business role. So my responsibility was to kind of sign up more hotels for the Taj Group. I did that for about 6 years or so, and there I managed the north, then the south, and I did some international acquisitions as well for the group. And then I moved on to work with Mr. Krishna Kumar for a year. People used to always ask me, are you thinking of doing an MBA? You don't have an MBA degree. So is that a box you've left unticked in your life? But to me, my tenure with Mr. Krishna Kumar for 1 year is actually a highly intensive MBA program, and I would never trade it for a ticket even to the Harvard Business School or to INSEAD or anything. And having worked there for a year, I then moved into Ginger Hotels. At probably a very young age, probably I was one of the youngest HODs in Ginger, to head two vital functions of growth as well as projects. I did that again for 2 years, and during that I had a lot of interactions with the board. As a head of growth, I had to present to the board on various acquisitions we were doing or how we were planning to grow our hotels. And during that tenure, when there was a period where the CEO's position was vacant, so I was called upon to also act as the interim CEO. So, I mean, to me, this program has delivered more than what I had even thought of. Sometimes I look back during my first year goal, when we were doing our first year training. At that time, TS office does ask you to write down, where do you see yourself 2 years, 3 years, how do you want to chart your career? And I'm sure I would have said somewhere in there that I want to manage a business, I want to head a business, and in a very short period of time, I was given an opportunity to demonstrate it during a very critical part of the company's stage. And I take pride in the fact that the board was happy with the way I had handled that and given me my new assignment, which is my current assignment. I am actually setting up a new function in a company which is more than 100 years old, so in a way I feel like I'm in a very entrepreneurial frame of mind. You will witness some failures, some good successes. So I'm setting up a function called asset management, which is primarily to improve the profitability of each of our hotels. So it's been 6 months into this. I think we've got some traction going, but it'll take another 6 months before we properly settle down. So yes, I have a small team working with me, and I'm happy to say in 15 years of my working career, I have probably done more variety than I had anticipated. I've looked at hardcore automobile and the epitome of service, which is Taj in hospitality. And I'm happy to say in each of these, I've spent enough time to actually make an impact. If you have a reasonable sense of what you want to be doing in the next 3 to 5 year time frame, that's great. And the way I would advise you all to go about this whole thing is, I don't think you should go always on a quid pro basis. I do this, what do I get? I think you have to look at every opportunity in terms of how much are you going to learn and what kind of impact you're going to create. And don't define an end date to it, because you're always going to be looking like, oh, it's 2 years up, now what, now what? I think you have to just flow with it seamlessly. And I always believe that somehow work always flows into pockets which are very efficient. If you are doing a good job of your work, you don't have to worry about challenges. There are enough and more that just always, you will attract challenges, and I think that's how you should just dig your heels in, do your part of your function very well, and I'm sure enough and more challenges will come. If you're someone who's looking to be a generalist, I would advise to try 2 different sectors. If you're looking at somebody who wants to be a specialist, the group has enough and more. Like if you're looking at being a marketing professional, again in that I would advise look at marketing across 2-3 sectors. If you have that kind of an experience, I'm sure you'll be called upon when there are great opportunities that come.